And we're back once again, only on its last call. Last call to the alcohol, only on the lastcallpodcast.com. And joining me here on location, well, if he is a little bit tired, well, he had a long, busy week, folks, from cheering on his fellow Dutchman over in the Olympics, partying hard in the Olympic Village, and then covering UFC fights. He is the international man of mystery, and yes, he's going to be celebrating like it's 1999. I give you MMA insider, Olympic enthusiast, and all around knowledge breaker here. I give you from UFC, from Eurosport UFC, Tapology, and MMA odds breaker. I give you Marcel Dorff. So Marcel, let's start off the fights, though. Whether you love him or hate him, Sean Strickland, you got to respect him because that man can fight. Big knockout win over Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Is he now basically one step closer to becoming, dare I say, UFC middleweight champion of the world all over again?
So yeah, first of all, thanks for having me as always, man. I mean, what can you say about this fight? Sean fought amazing. I feel like, I would say this is maybe alongside his fight against Adesanya, his best fight so far in the UFC. He was able to keep Hernandez at distance. Hernandez didn't really know what he had to do, and yeah, the jab kept going. He was very movable. He looked really good, man, and. Yeah, very big win for him, which can propel him into a title shot. I don't know if he gets it immediately, but he's definitely close, and the thing was like Hernandez won 8 in a row, man, and he looked really good in those 8 in a row fights, and Strickland pretty much it looked like a soft sparring session for him, pretty much, how he fought Hernandez, and then he got the finish, which was a really good finish. I think Strickland looked amazing, man. Nothing but positivity here for Strickland, man. He looked really good, and I think he makes a case for a title shot, for sure.
So let's start with Strickland here. Could you say this is probably the perfect fight in terms of his execution? That he didn't take a lot of, he wasn't getting hurt, he wasn't getting taken down. Like, if you could rate it, say this is a perfect fight in terms of a win, could we say that with Strickland in terms of just the execution of everything?
Yeah, unless he got an injury somewhere, what we don't know about, or we don't know yet about. But yeah, I think so, man. I mean, it looked almost flawless, and that I think a lot of people were like, this fight would be close. It wasn't close at all, in my opinion, So he really looked good against a guy who, yeah, hasn't looked bad for a long time, So it's a big win, like I said, and it's up to the UFC what they're gonna do. But they have the option to put Strickland into a title fight if they want, I think. But yeah, we'll see what Dana's gonna do, But it's definitely interesting,
We always like to say, "Oh my God, he says the stupidest things," and he says a lot of stupid things. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're politically incorrect. You could see he was trash talking a bit, the ice comments, Mexico with Anthony Hernandez. How much of this do you think, though, is there's a genius behind this? Because if you told us that Fluffy would only attempt one takedown, but he would not, try to wrestle Sean, but for 3 rounds he would literally do Sean's kind of fight. We would have told you you're crazy. Anthony is much smarter than that, and yet it felt like that Anthony played right into his game. How much should we start crediting Sean for being a little more brilliant in terms of, all right, I'm good. My trash talking is a way how to get my opponents sort of off their own game.
Oh, he definitely deserves more credit for what he showed, man. Definitely, absolutely. The thing is, like, a lot of people will not give him the credit because they don't like him, But you got to give him the credit. Guy is good, and he got a. This is a big finish, It's a really big finish right now in this division to finish Anthony Hernandez like that, and yeah, I mean the antics and the trash talk before and all the kind of stuff. I don't really care about it. I mean, it's not up to me to say anything what's up there. For me, it's like I look what is it, how he fights in the cage, and it was a great performance. And I feel like, listen, the thing is like all these people online, they want to say something about what he said. Dude, for me, it's very easy. Sometimes I agree with what a fighter says, and sometimes I disagree with what a fighter says. But let these fighters say whatever they want. I don't really care, man. As long as they fight well and they do their job, which is fighting, And he delivered a great fight, So I got a lot of respect for that. I'm not gonna be like these people online who's gonna cry about everything he says.
Why didn't Anthony Hernandez shoot more? We're gonna add.
Because he saw after the first takedown he attempted that Sean was able to keep it standing, and I think that Anthony also felt like maybe he kind of underestimated him in this mind because and I did as well. I thought that Anthony would be able to take Sean down, but you saw in the first round when he tried it, he had his hands together, I think, but he couldn't get him down. Sean was stronger than him, so I think that kind of discouraged him, and that's why he didn't attempt it anymore. That's what I think.
Is it safe to second guess him, saying he should have done more? Like he should have pushed more of a takedowns? Because you could tell after the second round, like, okay, this fight's starting to get away from Fluffy. That once Sean, Sean is basically like, that runaway train. Once he gets going, it's tough to stop him.
Yeah,
So should
maybe.
when Fluffy looks back, should he have just say should there be regret of should have gone for more takedowns? I should have not given up after the first one.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing is, like, you heard Fluffy's interview afterwards as well. He said, I thought it could be 1-1. It was 2-0 for Sean. Well, he said, I thought it could be 1-1. So in his mind, it was even pretty much. So it didn't went bad. So I don't think he would have even attempted it, in the third round. But might have been maybe smart to do. At the same time, he had so less success with the first one. I think you probably as a fighter you probably feel if your opponent is if you can take your opponent down or that you are just wasting energy. I think. He probably thought that he was wasting energy by trying it, but hey, I can be wrong. But that's what I figured out from it. And I think Sean's just a better fighter. Got to give him credit there. He looked really good, and yeah. I mean, I can only say that he looked really good and much better than I thought that he would look against Hernandez.
All right. So where does Fluffy go from this next? I mean, right now there's a lot of people who are looking for fights, whether it's Duplessis, whether it's possibly, looking around here, Jared Cannonier, Robert Whitaker, if he decides that, hey, maybe I want one more fight. Like who'd you match Fluffy up that it's for him, it's not too big of a drop, but it's still something that might be a little more for him. All right. A bit of a bounce back.
I think it's pretty easy, man. You can match him up with a lot of guys over there in the division. I'd still give him somebody in the top 10 because I think he has proven he belongs there. Why not let him fight the loser of Caio Borralho against Renier de Ridder? That fight is soon in 2 weeks. They can fight each other, the loser of that fight, and the winner of that fight can get back in the mix for fighting against one of the top guys again. But I think that fight makes a lot of sense now, and I actually hope and I don't hope that the Ritter loses, but I actually hope for the Ritter against Hernandez. I think that's a fight we were promised for Canada last year. Well, let it happen this year, if possible.
Well, let's take a. This is probably the knockout of the night. It was violent. It was devastating. It was a one-punch knockout. Eros Medic knocking out Jeff Neal in a fight which I this was not on my bingo card. I did not see this happening. I thought, okay, hey, you know what? Jeff Neal's, the better fighter. Eros Medic gets in trouble. I even picked Neal to win, and damn. That's all I have to say about that fight. Damn.
Yeah, I felt the same. I think I said last week that Medic is dangerous on the feet, but at the same time, he hadn't fought somebody like Neil yet. So I was like, maybe this is too much to do right now for Medic. But damn, man, he looked really good. He looked really good, and Man, that was like a super crisp punch that he landed there over there, and yeah, he knocked Neil out. Man, it was a pretty nasty knockout. Great win for Medic, man. It puts him in the rankings, you know.
All right, so if you are Medic, can you? I know it's a little bit. This might be just a bit too, let's just say, not in the cards, but Colby Covington versus Eros Medic. Is that a good fight, or would you shoot for somebody like if win or lose Joaquin Buckley?
I mean, Colby fought. Oh, you mean Medic against Buckley?
Yes.
Um, Yeah, why not? At the same time, I think his call out was perfect, man. What he did, he called out Leon Edwards for a possible Serbia card, which is supposed to might happen on May 18th if everything goes right. So I like that fight actually, man. It makes a lot of sense. You know, Leon lost a couple of times now. It's in Europe. Medic is from Europe. Edwards is from Europe. He can headline that card. I actually like it a lot. You know. I think his call out made a lot of sense. I actually want to see that fight. Why not? And I don't know if you heard the presser afterwards that he was in Dana's office when he was and Dana was calling Trump, and that Trump said like he would make sure he got the visa and stuff. So it's great for him, you know.
Meanwhile, for Jeff Neal, could this be the last time we see him? He's 35. He's now 1-4 in his last five fights. Three of them he's been finished, including back-to-back now knockouts against Carlos Praetis and Eros Medic, and both in the first round by just like violent, either a spinning back elbow or just punches. So should people around Jeff Neal's camp like have a talk and go, okay, this might be time now to just ride off into the sunset. You're taking too much damage now.
So the thing with Jeff Neal is like I don't know if you saw James Lynch's interview where he said that he was addicted to alcohol and drugs for a long time and that he was clean since 3 or 4 months or something, you know. I don't hope he has a fallback after this fight. I think please keep him on the roster. You know, um, I think he can still improve, man. He's still. I mean, uh, I still think he can improve, but yeah, it's going to be difficult probably. You know, because. The thing is, like, if you lose to a guy like Medic, I mean, Medic is good, you know, but Medic wasn't ranked, and this was a guy who was not ranked, and these are the guys that Jeff before was able to win against, you know, and now he's not. Kind of feels the same way with Dan Ige, but yeah, let's see. Let's give Jeff one more. Give him somebody unranked. Let's see how he does against them, and let's talk then if he needs to retire or not. You know.
So how about we do a rematch then? Neil Magny versus Jeff Neal. Both of them are sort of in that no man's land where you're like, okay, what do we do? We want to be nice, not fire them, but well, they both have been a bit long of a tooth. I mean, is that a fight you make?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Makes sense. I wouldn't mind it. I think it's a winnable fight for both guys. So yeah, I think that's good.
Well, if you thought that knockout was special, well, you know what? Mezquil Acosta before that did just a spinning back kick that dropped Dan Ig and followed up with ground and pound punches. Costa's quickly becoming a guy. Look, he called out. His call out was just balls. So we'll get to that first. But still, is it time to now start recognizing Costa as a threat to maybe the featherweight championship?
I think that's going a little bit too far, but he's definitely has potential, man. I mean, when he came into the UFC, I thought he would be like a fun addition, but I didn't think of him like a top 15 fighter or anything, you know. And he has developed pretty quickly to be into a dangerous guy for the top 15. I think title fight or title contention is a little bit quick, you know, but uh, give whoever you can give him Arnold Allen or something, or if Josh Emmett loses against him, I don't want to see him against Kevin Vallejos or Steve Garcia, those are also newer names in the division. Let these younger guys fight these older guys, and let's see if these younger guys have the quality to beat these older guys, So because the division has to keep developing, you cannot keep building on the older guys. So yeah, I think that's a good idea probably. Yeah, why not Arnold Allen?
Well, you know what, Marcel? He
Yeah.
didn't take that advice. He went, you know what? I'm gonna be like Marcel. Big balls, Marcel Dorff. I'm gonna put my big boy pants on, and he called out Diego Lopez. Do you make that fight? I mean, Lopez isn't gonna be fighting for a title anytime soon. He's coming off a loss. Costa here, he's taking his shot. He lined it up. He's taking it. He's going, hey, I want a King Slayer opponent. So do you make Diego Lopez versus Costa next?
No, because I want to see Diego Lopez fight Yair Rodriguez first. So no, I wouldn't make that fight. It's a fun fight, don't get me wrong, but I think Costa needs at least one more to get into title contention. So, and against a top guy. So, no, I don't make that fight. No.
You were like just ruining all of good stuff here. Meanwhile, let's go to Dan Ig here. He's another guy. Last five fights, four out of five of them have been losses. This is the first time he got finished. So again, he's one of those guys like we mentioned with Neil Magny, Jeff Neal, where it's like, okay, where do you go? Because he's been around the block and then some. I mean, this is a guy who's been fighting in the UFC, way back in 2017. So that's literally almost a decade of being in the company. Like, where does he go? What do you do? And is there a point with him where you go, okay, might be time to hang it up?
Yeah, but it's not right now the time, I think, he I think he still makes it competitive with a lot of guys. This is the first time he got finished, which isn't good, obviously, but I think Dan Ige is still very good. So I don't know who I give him next, but he's definitely still very good.
Maybe King Green. I mean, do you just do a fun fight and go, all right, King Green versus Dan Ig. There will be a lot of action. It will not be boring, and you can tell the judges to just take the night off.
Against who did you say? I didn't caught
King
it.
Green.
King Green. Yeah, why not? If King Green, I mean, but then Ige has to go to 155, right?
Why not? Let's just this one doesn't. He's getting up there. He's
I mean,
34 years
he's
old.
already small for 145, man. Don't you think?
I mean, he was ranked 14th, and he's lost now. So I mean, do you give him somebody who's top 20, top 25, or do you give him a big fun fight?
Yeah,
All right, you know
I
what?
give
We'll
this.
split the baby in the middle. Him versus David Onama.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I think that's a good fight.
So getting back to Costa, what is his ceiling now? I mean, because as you said, he's a fun fighter. Hey, it's nice, but we didn't have him as a contender, and now all of a sudden, it's you're looking at his record so far, and hey, it's now one, two, three, four, six straight. He's won six straight fights, including Julian Erosa, Morgan Charrier, Dan Ig. I mean, again, like, so if you don't think he's a world title contender, is it at least safe to say that, hey, he's a top 10 fighter now, and he's getting on that sort of, all right, well, hey, we got to start paying more attention. Like, do you see the ceiling maybe elevate after this performance
For who are you asking?
with
For
Costa?
Costa. Yeah, I think Costa deserves to fight somebody higher, man. The ceiling is definitely higher than I thought originally, but I still have to see more. But definitely, man, he has put together an amazing win streak, and he looked really good in those fights. So cannot say anything bad about the guy. And I like him as well. I think he's a really fun addition to the division. And yeah, we'll see what's next for him, man. But there are a lot of difficult matchups for him, I think, in the division.
Overall, so this card started slow. It picked up bits. So we'll recap the rest of the fights for those who missed it out. We had, of course, Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. Spivak won by unanimous decision. Afterwards, in an emotional interview, we talked about how he dedicated this to his father who passed away, that, he canceled a fight last year, and you could tell he was caught up in it. A good, solid fight. And you can now, once again, it's with Spivak. It's one of those guys where it's like he just hangs around. If you're not taking him down, he might be trouble for people.
Yeah, I think Spivak looked really good, man. I thought Delia would do very well in this fight, but Spivak won 1 and 3. I had Delia winning the second round. There was one retard judge who gave Spivak the second round while he was almost finished in that round. But I think Spivak looked really good, and I felt like Delia kind of disappointed and kind of shit the bed. But um, yeah, good for Spivak, man. I mean, it was a necessary win for him to keep around the top 10 to get another step up in competition next. And yeah, we'll see, man. Interesting fight as well. But I think Spivak looked really good.
Jacob Smith defeating Josiah Harrell by uh, strikes from side control. If at 3 minutes of the first round, if you want to see like just a beautiful reversal into side control, Jacoby Smith basically got taken down, reversed it, and into side control, then started just bashing Joshua Harrell into Dream Street here. I get it; it's a last minute opponent, but Smith looks like the real deal. He looks like somebody you go, okay, he's gonna be a problem for the welterweight division.
I mean, I I think like Smith has looked pretty decent so far, but we got to also look at competition we fought. And the thing is, he's calling out Kevin Holland. Unfortunately for him, when he called out a minute later, the UFC showed Kevin Holland fighting Randy Brown in Miami. So that's not going to happen likely. But yeah, I thought I think he's a very decent fighter. He looked really good so far. Not a fan of punching after the referee already pulled you off. There was a lot of people who were blaming the referee. I think it was a little bit in the middle. Referee was kind of late, but he also kept punching while the referee was in between. Looked pretty horrible, the knockout, but Josiah is good, so all good. Yeah, but he definitely needs to step up in competition next. I think he originally was planned to fight against Sakyong Ko. Um, but just Josiah Harold took the fight in short notice. I would rebook the fight with Sakyong Ko, to be honest.
Speaking of refereeing, Jocelyn Edwards defeated Nora Cornell by rear naked choke. Basically, she had her knocked out almost basically a power slam.
Yeah.
And Jacob Montalvo decides, no, yeah, let's keep it going. And then after several hard shots, including probably like some where you're like, okay, she's not gonna get knocked out. You can knock her. You can call it. Nope. He lets it keep going. She takes her back, chokes her out. I guess what the hell? Why is Jacob Montalvo just basically allowing somebody to almost get murdered in the cage? And can somebody fire him because he keeps sort of letting fighters nearly get beaten to a pulp and then go, yes, all right, now I'll jump in.
I mean, Montalvo kind of sucked there, man. I think he should have stepped in earlier. Man, we saw the replay in real life. They showed, man, and you just heard Nora's arm pretty much cracked or her shoulder. And he let it keep going, and then she got choked out. She was in a lot of pain, and I hate to see that, but also I've talked to Nora before. She's one of the nicest people I've met in MMA, so I hate to see her in pain. I hope she recovers well. At the same time, it's a great win for Edwards. She got her revenge after she lost a close decision in Paris in the first fight. They fought against each other a couple of years ago. And Edwards has really turned her career around, I feel like, to the last couple of fights in the UFC. So she looked really good. And yeah, I mean, Montalvo, just an idiot. Uh, I mean, I think you saw my tweet about it. I say, Jacob Montalvo, you take everything I work for, motherfucker. And then in Chris Toyone's voice. Yeah, it is what it is. These things happen, unfortunately.
Can't we get rid of him though? I mean, again, it's bad enough. We had several times where there's, good referees do, have issues. But, now it's been like Herb Dean, who basically lets people get killed, sometimes even we've had Mario Yamasaki who's let people get killed, and let's say there is a referee that who shall not be named who Brock Lesnar once accused of having maybe a affair with Frank Mir because well he basically almost let Mir take apart Brock Lesnar's knee. Like they just keep showing up again and again and again. There's like none of these guys get fired, it seems. Why can't there be like a UFC referee who just gets fired?
Yeah, I have no idea, my friend. I have no idea why that's not happening. But yeah, these referees. I mean, what can you say about it? Pretty
Like
much
Steve
nothing.
Mazzagatti. That's who we should not be named, but mention him. Like how many times this guy like, oh crap, somebody's. I think Steve. I think he's done. He's unconscious. No, 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 no. There's still there's still life in this guy. We need blood. Like you've seen this before. Like oh crap, why do they keep getting jobs? Like if you and I had terrible our jobs, we get fired. These guys never get fired.
I mean, I would almost say like, how do you say that? Steve Mazzagatti is a saint compared to some of these guys, you know. So it's just horrible, man. I mean, we complain all the time about the referees, and nothing happens, so we can
I know.
keep
I
complaining
feel like I
probably.
should just like. I'm getting to say maybe I should take a hit out on them, but no, I'm just joking because somebody will probably report me going, "Hey, he wants referees getting killed." No, I didn't say that. But on the other hand, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so who stood out for the rest of the undercard and the main card? I mean, we'll get to the final main fight was of course a pretty for a decision. It was pretty fun. It was Michelle Pereira defeating Zach Reese, the hometown kid by split decision. That's one of those fights where it's like there weren't much takedowns, but everybody's just rocking each other. Lots of head clashes, heads getting snapped back. Pereira continues to be just a guy who, just when you write him off, he seems to come back, and all of a sudden now it's like, well, we thought this might be his final fight. Nope, he bounced back.
Sorry, your sounds cut away for a second. Can you
Yeah,
repeat,
so
please?
Michel Pereira, is he back? I
Yeah,
mean, we were talking about him getting cut. Now, is this like the saving grace for him?
I don't know, man. I mean, he got the win, but I don't think it looked amazing, to be really honest, man. The first round, yeah, pretty decent. Busted up Reese a lot, you know. But besides that, he was gassing again, man. You know, and it wasn't as bad as normally. That's why he won. But I mean, this guy at a certain moment was supposed to be fighting guys in the top 10, you know, and now he's fighting Zach Reese, who I like Zach Reese, but is not even close to a top 15 probably, you know. So um, yeah, I would think at least he saved his job, that's for sure. But the win, I think, you know. But I don't see him making a run, to be honest, as long as his cardio is not good.
Meanwhile, the rest of the undercard, lots of decisions. Carlos Leo defeated Chidi Jokuani by unanimous decision. Alibi Aldris defeat Ode Osborne by unanimous decision. Aiden Correa defeated Luis Gurul by unanimous decision. Yes, Punahili Sariano defeated Ramiz Brahimaj by unanimous decision. Jordan Levitt defeated Yadier Del Val by, unanimous decision. Carly Judius defeated Juliana Miller by unanimous decision. And then a split decision here. It was Jean Paul Lebosnoyani versus and defeating Phil Rowe by split decision. How would you sum up this undercard for those who did not watch? Was it
Yeah,
good or
horrible.
was it, oh, please God, get me out of here? It's worse than
Yeah,
watching two heavyweights fight.
yeah, yeah, horrible. I think the most of the prelims were horrible to watch. Um, it was just nothing there, man. It was like really bland. People I expected a lot from, like Carly Judice. I expected a lot from. Boring fight. Uh, Bosniani against Rowe. It was okay, but it wasn't great. What else did we have? Gurule against Korea. I mean, Korea clearly won, but was an amazing fight. We got Brahimaj against Puna, which was okay, but also wasn't really spectacular, but was okay. Um, Leal and Jokwani was a good fight, I think. And then we had like the Cornole against Edwards. I think I'm missing one fight, but I think the second fight was also not good. What was the second fight of the card again?
It was, I can't remember. I mean, after a while, I'm even looking at this card going, okay, let me go back
Let,
to you. The
let me.
second fight was, of course, Jordan Levitt versus Yadier
Yeah.
Del Val,
Oh,
which I was going, please
oh,
get me out of here.
yeah. That was horrible to watch, man. And the thing, you know what really is crazy. So, Yadier Valle won last time against Isaac Bulgarian in that fight that's in investigation by the FBI, right? And he got an easy takedown reversal on him and easily choked him out. And now he has so much trouble with Jordan Levitt on the ground. He didn't know where he had to go. So, I mean, I don't say Isaac is guilty or whatever. I have no idea. But man, this doesn't make his case any more easy if you look at this fight. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, Alex Pereira, according to reports, is ready to ditch the light heavyweight championship and go up to heavyweight. Dana first, when he first heard that after Alex's last win, went, nope, it's a bad idea. Now all of a sudden, hey, I support it. This is a great idea. Are we getting close to Alex Pereira versus the UFC, who, number one contender at heavyweight for the interim championship? I mean, should we start now going, okay, he's going to fight at heavyweight for an interim title next? Because this smells really funny, but, UFC really wants to have Alex Pereira as a three division champion.
Yeah, they probably want to try to do that. I think they will probably try to make a fight Gan, but we'll see if it happens. I don't know. I also have no idea if it's a done deal or not. What they're gonna do. It's like really in the air. I feel like nobody knows exactly what the UFC is gonna do next. And I mean, let's hope we know something soon because it's actually kind of crazy, man. We are like in February already, and we barely know what's going to happen if it comes to big matchup for title fights in the next couple of months. The only title fight we have set is the Joshua Van against Tatsuro Taira one, which I like, but that's the only one, right? And we got that officially yesterday.
Like I was thinking, on one hand, I get it. He probably looks and goes, "Hey, you know what? I've kind of maybe cleaned out the division. I beat Yuri Prochka. I've beaten Magomed Ankalaev, Khalil Roundtree, Jan Blachowicz, Jamal Hill. I deserve heavyweight, and I get it. He's a growing boy and a growing man, and well, cutting to 205 probably isn't fun. On the other hand, I can hear you go, no, 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 wait a minute here. He still has people here. We still need Alex Pereira versus Carlos Ulberg, or Alex Pereira versus Azamat Murzkanov. So sell to me, Marcel. What is the best course in your opinion for Alex Pereira?
For Alex Pereira, he probably fights heavyweight, man. I think that's what he's going to do. He's probably going to vacate the belt at light heavyweight, and he's going to fight at heavyweight. I think he probably fights Gan for the interim title. That's what I think. And yeah, I don't know when that's going to take place, man. I have no idea, but that's what I think they're going to do.
What do you want? Because you're
Well,
the voice of the MMA fans. So do you want him to fight at heavyweight, or are you going, no, 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 wait a minute. You still have some challenges left at light heavyweight.
I don't mind him if he goes to heavyweight, man. What it's for me, it's like whatever. I mean, the UFC clearly doesn't want to fight the third fight against Ankalaev. I want to see it in the future. I mean, Ankalaev probably needs one more win at least. You know, Yuri he's not gonna fight Yuri because he already beat him twice, and I'm not that interested in Pereira versus Ulberg. So I don't really mind if he goes to heavyweight. He can go to heavyweight. I think there are some challenges over there for him. But we'll see how he does there. I think that's what the UFC wants. I mean, it was pretty obvious that Dana was open to it during the presser last week or yesterday. So yeah, I don't mind, to be really honest. I said it for the third time, but I really don't mind.
Now, Meanwhile, if you don't mind this, you're
Yeah.
definitely gonna hate this. That's right. Yeah, Khamzat Chimaev has decided, no, you know what? I conquered middleweight. Screw this. I'm going to light heavyweight. I don't need a title defense. He's now taking on Yuri Prochka, that's been targeted for UFC
It's
327.
not confirmed. It's not a done deal.
I know.
It's not confirmed.
I could tell you're just like, well, you know, you want to say, motherfucker, you just want a title. Now you don't want to defend a title. I mean, even you're ready to now start, getting upset with the Wolf and going, hey, you need to be slapped around here and called Sal. You're defending a goddamn middleweight title.
As long as it's not a done deal, I'm not gonna argue if it's right or not. I think that um, Khamzat should defend his title at least one or two times in the middleweight before he goes to light heavyweight. He just won the title, man. There are a lot of contenders at middleweight. He can fight somebody else. He can fight Sean. He can fight Imavov. I don't need to see him at 205. And if he goes to 205, I don't think he should get a title shot right away. He hasn't even got a defense at middleweight. This seems like Connor things. And we should get away from that bullshit.
Well, here's his official tweet. I got the official tweet here from Khamzat Chimaev, February 20th, 205. That's what he said. And then on his podcast appearance on Jackson, he basically said, I want to become a double champion. I'm not like these guys who try to take their retirement from UFC undefeated. I just want to make big fights. Marcel, I can feel the steam coming out of your ears going, this son of a bitch is going to screw
Uh,
this goddamn division up.
he can go to Jake Paul, go do your big fights.
I can tell. You're
I,
ready to drop some
bro,
M bombs on this guy.
I don't care. He only fights one time a year. I mean, what are we even talking about?
Well, speaking of only fighting once, we're getting this fight once in a lifetime. Yep, it was teased 10 years ago. We never got it. Now we're getting it, Marcel. Ronda Rousey versus the future Mrs. Marcel Dorff, Gina Carano, only on Netflix. It's official. And your first response, I'm dying to hear because on one hand, I can hear you go, oh my God, we're doing these basically
my,
just,
my first
circus freak
response.
show fights. But on the other hand, you love Gina Carano.
My first response. Do you know the film Jumanji?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know when Robin Williams comes out of the house and he asks the policeman what year is it? That was my first response. Um, Listen, I can be pretty clear. I want Gina to win. I shouldn't be biased as a reporter or a
You
journalist.
could be biased, Marcel. I know
Yeah.
that there's a plan for you two to one day meet. I'm working on it here. I'm working on the details. Can't tell you them yet, Marcel. I'm working on the details, but we know you want, Gina to win, and you don't like Ronda.
No, obviously, I want Gina to win, and preferably by knockout. But yeah, that's not gonna happen, man. Let's be honest. I think Ronda shoots a takedown within 20 seconds, and she's probably gonna submit Gina on the ground. That's what I think. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind the fight at all. But yeah, it's kind of feel like we call it in the Netherlands, we call it mosterd naar de maaltijd, which pretty much means like um,
It's a
you
circus
get
fight. It's what it is. It's a big,
yeah,
big circus fight. Somebody's getting paid big money.
yeah, yeah, good for them.
By the way, Ronda's now come out against the UFC, not Dana, of course, but the UFC, and said, well, ever since they got on Paramount Plus, they can't pay me big money. It's now all corporate here. By the way, let's see. Oh, who owns the UFC now? TKO. Who basically let her walk when under the WWE? Oh, TKO. So, does she have a point, or is this basically sour grapes from somebody who hasn't been happy in the last couple of years with any group she's been with,
Bro,
whether it's UFC or WWE?
bro, she's a spoiled crybaby, man. She's always got her way, and now she doesn't get her way, and now she's gonna like punch around her. I mean, She hasn't fought for a long time. UFC wanted to have her for a long time, but she never came back after her two losses in the UFC, you know? She hid from everybody. She blamed everybody but herself. Um, I couldn't care less about Ronda Rousey. I care as much about her as she cares about me, you know? So no, I don't give a shit, you know? And to be really honest, I was never interested to see Ronda against Gina. I don't mind to do it, but Gina and Ronda's careers never overlap each other, you know? I mean, Gina was already out of the game when Ronda popped up. So I never, the actual fight I always wanted to see was Ronda against Cyborg because I know Cyborg would destroy her. But um, I mean, I never wanted to see that. But you know, I love Gina. You know, I always did when she fought. I think she was a great role model while she fought for women MMA early on. The only people who don't like Gina is those people who don't like her political views and who probably haven't been around when Gina was fighting, you know. And now they know Gina from the movies and they know her political views and now they hate her, you know, a bunch of weirdos. I mean, I'm not going to hate somebody because they have different political views than me. You know, I look at the fighting, I look at how they carry each other themselves, you know. And Gina was always like great, I think, for women MMA. She was like a real poster girl for Strikeforce and Elite XC back in the day. And everybody loved her, you know. And now it's like the people are like 50-50 on her because, yeah, but she's very conservative. Like, I give a shit, you know. I'm watching a fucking fight. Be whatever you want to be. And I always liked her as a fighter, I always liked her as a person as well. So I hope Gina does well. But it's hard for me to see Gina win because I think she has been out of the game for such a long time. And Ronda has that grappling advantage. Plus, she's an Olympian, obviously, with the judo background. So I think that will be hard. But I'll definitely watch it, man, for sure. You know, I have Netflix.
Well, we gotta get a little more serious now, and that is UFC. It's supposed to be next Saturday. It's going to be UFC Mexico, Moreno versus Kavanaugh. Um, well, let's see. How am I going to put this here? Right now, there's a war zone going on in Mexico, like all of Mexico, as the cartels basically after one of the big cartel leaders got us killed by the government.
Yeah.
Well, they're now taking over Mexico in like several towns. So, if you're a UFC, at what point are you going, okay, the Apex isn't a bad place? I know people complain, but at least nobody's going to get shot in the Apex.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how good, how easily the fighters can go and how safely it is to go there, man. I don't know. I saw it also today on the news, you know, obviously, and I don't know, man. I don't have too much background information on this one. You know, I just know there is an event. The UFC want to go there. Um, we will see, man. I mean, the thing is, if it cannot happen in Mexico and they're gonna do it in Vegas, you know, in the Apex, there will be some fights that don't happen probably because of visa issues. You know what I mean? So let's hope not, but we will see, man. We probably will know a lot more later this week, but right now I have no idea.
I was gonna say, if you're the UFC, is this sort of like a silver lining where you're looking at this going, hey, maybe this wouldn't be a bad card to cancel because, well, this fight was the main event was supposed to be Bryn Moreno versus Asu Ambalyayev.
Hmm.
Ambalyayev basically wasn't able to fight due to, well,
Injury.
either injury. So now we get it is. Lonier Kavanaugh versus Brandon Moreno. That's your main event.
Hmm.
Marlon Vera versus David Martinez. There's the co-main event. Like, I don't see the UFC going, well, this will be really terrible if we have to cancel this card. I would bet they're going, you know, this really isn't bad if we get to cancel it. Maybe we can just like push it aside and like mix and match these fighters on other cards and just chalk it up to, yeah, this was a great idea, but well, you know what? Sometimes you can't travel if you can't guarantee the safety of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, you know? But they have the Paramount TV deal, so they got to figure out what to do, you know? I mean, maybe they can do some fights in the Apex if necessary, you know, but probably not all. Um, but yeah, we're discussing now something that I don't have too much knowledge about, man. So it's really hard for me to say anything on this subject. So I don't know. For me, it's also just waiting till we hear more, and I just hope that everybody will be safe there, you know, and that the UFC can guarantee his safety, and that we have fights on Saturday, man. You know, and let's hope for the people in Mexico as well that they have fights.
Well, let's take a look at the card because this looks like your ultimate like smorgasbord card. I'm looking at the main event. We've got three flyweight fights on this card. We've got two bantamweight fights on the main card and a
Almost,
lightweight fight. I mean, this I understand why you don't want this canceled. This is like your hog heaven of fights. Like, oh yes,
yeah,
all
man.
small guys,
I
no
almost popped the
heavyweights in
boner.
sight. I don't have to worry about you big guys screwing things up.
I almost popped the boner, man. Yeah, I mean, um,
Was it
uh,
mahogany, cherry? Was it oak? Like I could tell you're like, ooh.
that was raw steel meat. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, they do this for obvious reasons, because it's at height. Again, it's elevation, so they don't book too many heavy fights. I think the heaviest fight they are booking is 185. I think they did it the last time as well when they were in Mexico. Remember before when they had the heavyweights on the card, man, they were gassed after 2 minutes. Probably if they do the current heavyweights on the card, they will be gassed after 30 seconds. So, yeah, I think it's very smart from the UFC to not book any heavyweights or 205ers on this card, to be honest.
So let's talk the main event. Lonair
Yeah.
Kavanaugh versus Brandon Moreno.
Hmm.
This feels like Brandon Moreno a no-win fight. If he beats Kavanaugh, it's like, okay, great. You beat a kid who is very young, doesn't even have more than 15. He has 10 fights his entire career. He's coming off, a loss to Charles Johnson by knockout. Like, is this a no-win situation where if he wins, like, oh, great, here's a cookie. If he loses, we're talking, oh, crap. Brandon Moreno's done as a title contender.
The UFC should really be thankful for Brandon Moreno taking this fight, to be honest, because he pretty much saved the card because he's the poster boy for this card in Mexico, you know. So he could have easily said no, but obviously he probably wants to fight in front of his people in Mexico. Um, I mean, obviously he needs to win this fight. Lonnie Kavanaugh is 14 or 15 in the division. Lost his last fight to Charles Johnson by knockout. Got to say, before that knockout, he looked pretty good in that fight. But hey, you got knocked out. And he gets a massive opportunity here against Moreno. If Moreno loses this fight, he's far away from title contention as he has ever been in flyweight. So yeah, he definitely needs to win this fight. And I think he should be able to win this fight. The thing is, like, Kavanaugh is not as bad as a lot of people think because he lost last time against Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson's pretty good. So yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, there's also a case that Lona Kavanaugh looked good and maybe can win the fight. I won't pick him. Don't get me wrong. I'm picking Mexico zone in this one because I think it goes to decision. I think Moreno wins, but yeah, I mean, Lonnie Kavanaugh isn't a bad fighter. He just suffered a bad loss last time. And is it a bad loss? Kinda, but at the same time, it's fucking Charles Johnson, and I like Charles Johnson a lot. I think he's underrated.
Marlon Vera versus David Martinez. Is this
Yeah.
basically for Dave Martinez almost like not a showcase fight, but sort of like a star power fight where, hey, we're gonna give you a guy who has some star power, but he's lost three of his last fights, and this is almost don't feels like a good matchup for Martinez in terms of style, in terms of, winnability.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is, man. Listen, Chito Vera, tough veteran, has done great things for the sport, in my opinion. Family man. I've always only have respect for the guy. But I think his time against a better opposition kind of has come. And I think Martinez probably gets him at the right moment. Like he also got fun at the right moment. I was able to beat him. Martinez has looked pretty good so far in UFC. And I think for people who don't know him yet, this might be his coming out party. So, yeah, I think this will be a good fight for David Martinez. And I got to say, when he was in the contender series, I wasn't really high on him at all. After the fight, I know Dana gave a standing ovation. And I remember me saying to Adam, why the fuck is he giving a standing ovation? It wasn't that great. But he has looked good so far in the UFC. So, yeah, he's definitely an interesting guy. And if he can get past Vera, he will climb a little bit more on the ladder of the bantamweight division. So, yeah, definitely somebody to keep your eye on. And I'm interested to see how he's going to do against somebody like Chito, who still has a really good chin.
Daniel Zellhuber, aka the Golden Boy, will be taking on
Yeah,
King Green in
yeah.
a lightweight scrap.
Hmm.
How big is this for Zellhuber? Where it's like, okay, the last two fights you lost by unanimous decision to Michael Johnson wasn't a bad loss because Johnson was I think probably fighting is the best ever. And Esteban Ribovics, a lot of people thought he should have gone that win. Is this a prove it for him in terms of like, okay, let's see if you're relevant, or let's see if you're just a fringe guy who will hang around a bit?
He needs to win this fight. It's pretty clear. He definitely needs to win this fight. Listen, Bobby Green, who doesn't love Bobby Green? You know, King Green, however you want to call him. Um, but Zellhuber needs to win here. You know, Zellhuber pretty much gets a guy, a veteran, who has looked not really good in his last couple of fights. Besides that, the decision win over Lance Gibson Jr. last time. That's pretty easy, man. If Zellhuber loses, then his stock has already dropped a lot, in my opinion, his last couple of fights, and his stock will drop even more if he loses to Green here in front of his home crowd. We'll see, man. I think he will be able to beat him, and it's not going to be by finish, but by decision. But yeah, I think Green has a chance. You know, Green has a legit chance in this fight. But at the same time, yeah, it's in Mexico. Keep that in mind. So if it goes to the judges, I wouldn't be too hopeful if I was Green. But we'll see, man. I mean, we'll see.
Edgar Chairez will be taking on in the other main fight Felipe Buenas in a
Mm.
flyweight scrap. This is a weird record. You look at Chairez and he's 2-2-1. His wins are CJ Vergara by rear naked choke, Daniel Osareda where he was above the weight limit by triangle choke, and his two losses were to Tatsuro
Crazy.
Taira and Joshua Van, who will
Yeah.
both be fighting each other for the flyweight script for championship. So, how much of this is a fight where we're going to try to figure out, exactly how good, Puero Shikali is?
Yeah, I think he's very good, actually. You know, I mean, you pretty much said it yourself. He only has two losses, and the losses were against Tyra and against Van. And the Van fight was pretty close. He was actually doing very well in the first round against Van. Um, yeah, we'll see, man. This is a fun fight. I think. I said to Adam today, I think this might be a fight of the night kind of fight where both guys will be really do really well. I think Chairez will probably win the fight, but don't count out Bunes, man. Bunes is a pretty good fighter. Um, it's a fun fight for sure, man. Let's see how this goes. I think this has fight of the night potential.
In probably a fight which sort of could possibly be the start of Dana White privilege. We got Santiago Luna, aka Border Boy, taking on Angel Pacheco in a bantamweight fight. Santiago 7-0, six of his last six fights, all finishes, including his UFC debut against Kwang Lee by strikes in the first round. You've seen are you seen him? How good is Luna? And is this a fight that's basically is another sort of layup for him?
Um, I would. I hate to be disrespectful, but pretty much, you know, we saw Pacheco made his debut is almost like 2 years ago, I think, was in Atlantic City against Kalen Loughran, and Kalen is not with the UFC even anymore, but he lost to Kalen pretty clearly. If you look at Luna, he fought in his debut Kang Bang Lee. He won the fight. He looked really good. And now he gets Angel Pacheco, and in my opinion, is not a better fighter than Lee is, to be honest, you know. So that pretty much seems like a showcase fight, although I always hate to say that because it sounds super disrespectful to the opponent. But I think the UFC looks at it that way, and they probably want to build Luna. He's a fun prospect, and I think he gets the finish as well, you know.
And we got another undefeated kid also on the card. Another, it'll be once again this time Imanol Rodriguez Pilato taking on Kevin Borjas in a flyweight, yeah, in a flyweight fight. God damn, there's all these freaking flyweights here. So, what should we know about Heman Rodriguez? How good is he? Is he one of those guys where he's some potential, or is this just, in the flyweight fight and it's a Mexican fighter in Mexico, hopefully.
He trains with DC. I think he's pretty decent, man. I've seen him in the Ultimate Fighter and Contender Series. I was pretty impressed by what he showed so far. And I think he's a really good prospect, man. The thing is, like, he's fighting Kevin Borjas, so his only win is actually against another Mexican, Ronaldo Rodriguez. But I think Imanol is much better, man. So I don't see Borjas winning this fight, to be honest. I think Imanol wins this fight any day, to be honest. And I think he's also rightfully a pretty big favorite in this fight.
Running the prelim card is going to be Wes Schultz versus Damian Pinas in a middleweight scrap. We got Eric Silva versus Francis Marshall in a featherweight bout. Women's fight, we have Sofia Montenegro versus Ernesta Karakita, aka Heavy Handed, which, hey, when you're 6-1-1 and finished a couple fighters, you've earned that. You've sort of earned that. We got Diego Silva de Andre taking on Javier Reyes in a featherweight fight. Carlos Quinones taking on Chris Moltino in a bantamweight scrap. Macy Chasion will be taking on Alina Perez in a women's bantamweight fight. And finally, Jose Medina versus Ryan Ganda in a middleweight fight. Who do you like in these undercard fights? Like, give me like two or three people you're looking at going, all right, I have my eye on them. Maybe, they might be people to watch for going forward.
Gandra got a pretty easy debut, I think, against Medina. Listen, I like Medina, but he shouldn't have been in the UFC. The Gandra making his debut, he should be able to get a quick finish, I feel like. Um, then you have like this is just a very important fight for the division, but I don't think it will be spectacular. You got Aylin Perez against Macy Chiasson. You know, it's an important fight to see how one of the women will go right into top three, top four contention or whatever. You know, let me see the other fights. I mean, Silva de Andrade against Reyes can be a fun fight. You know, Silva de Andrade is one of the older guys on the roster, but still super fit and can make a pretty decent fight with almost everybody in the division. He's a very underrated guy, so I think that's an interesting one. Let's also talk about the opener shortly. Damian Pinas against Wes Schultz. Pinas has this sounds crazy, but I know I don't mean it that way. Pinas looks great in the contender series. I think got a quick finish. Wes Schultz is interesting if he can take Pinas down, but we will see if he's able to. If he's able to, he has a good chance. And I think that's a decent fight as well. It's kind of weird to see two contender series guys getting booked against each other. We don't see it too often, mostly if it happens at short notice, but this wasn't short notice. So, yeah, it's interesting. We'll see what's going to happen, man.
Well, we're gonna end the night on some. It's kind of important. It's kind for one for some of us. Others will probably go, "Oh, I don't really care." But the Olympics are over.
Yeah.
If you were an American, you remember, Alyssa Liu, and of course the U.S. men's hockey team. Congratulations, gold medal, first time in U.S. hockey in Olympic hockey in 46 years since 1980 Miracle on Ice. The Netherlands, though, the Dutch, 10 gold medals. So, Marcel, we have here, of course, you're looking at Jutta Leerdam, which, if you're an American, you know her as, oh, yeah, it's Jake Paul's fiance. In the Netherlands, you know her as, yes, that the Golden Girl, as she brought home the gold in the women's 1,000 meter speed skating. So, look, Marcel, I know you're happy because you are a proud, Dutchman. So, how big was this? What was your favorite Olympic medalist, and how proud are you of your country?
Oh, definitely, man. The athletes did amazing, much better than a lot of people would think. We're a small country, so it's pretty amazing to become like number three in the gold medal list behind the US. So I think that's good. Which gold medal I was most proud of? I think we should say all gold medals are great. The ones I really loved. I think the how we speed skating short track. I love watching that. That's amazing. And we had like a guy who got like three gold medals, two individuals and one with the team. His name is Jens van der Wout. He looked amazing, man. He was skating alongside with his brother. I still think he could have got a fourth one, but he kind of helped his brother in one of the races, and he became third place in that race, and his brother became second place. So. Yeah, I mean that was special. I think there are a lot of special moments. We got a 40-year-old skater who was able to get gold medal as well. So and a bronze one as well. So yeah, I mean overall very successful. And I love watching the Olympics, man. I always watch it if possible, you know. And now it was for us at a really convenient time because it was in Italy, so easy to watch. You know, it's not really late or really early. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I think there were fun Olympics, and it's always good. It's always good.
So Yuto Leerdam. So
Yeah.
in America, we know her as, oh yeah, it's Jake Paul's fiance. Now in Netherlands, though, I guess she's a big deal. So does that sort of wipe off like, okay, you're sort of like, okay, on one hand you're like, God damn it, Jake Paul, you could have done better on, with a basically a construction worker than him. But on the other hand, hey, she won gold. So is she back in the good graces of the Marcel Dorff family household?
Want to be honest?
Yes.
I have really a lot of respect for her that she was able, with all the pressure that she could get the gold medal because there was a lot of pressure on her. I'm personally not a big fan. You know, I like the other girl much more, the other skater. But I mean, she did well, and it's and by the way, before people think like, is it because you're like a liberal or something? Has nothing to do with it. But all the show kind of stuff, it's just us Dutch people, we're pretty simple if it comes to that. You know, we don't have to show off and that kind of stuff. And she's pretty much somebody who loves to show off and that kind of stuff. And it's a good right, you know, do it, but it's just not my kind of thing, you know. And yeah, it's a great. I got to say, it's a great gold medal, and she fully deserved it. She got another silver medal as well, which she also deserved. But yeah, I'm just not her biggest fan, man, to be really honest. And but I wish her all the best, obviously, and that's my honest view, man.
I want to know the real truth because I've heard a rumor.
What did you
Can't
hear?
confirm or deny, but I've heard that, well, you were not watching the Olympics at home. No, he was in Italy, ladies and gentlemen, partying with the Olympic team. Maybe, dare I say, snuggling with gold medalist Femke Koch. If that's true, Marcel, can you confirm or deny that maybe you and the Olympic gold medalist Miss Koch are, well, dare I say, like seeing each other? Is Marcel Dorff now a gold medalist by relationship?
Man, you're crazy, man. I think your sources are coming directly from Crazy Kev or something because this is not true, obviously. But
I don't know.
yeah,
I had people say, "Hey, we saw Marcel Dorff in the Olympic Village.
uh,
He was
uh,
partying hard down there with the gold medals people." So I know if this is if you're trying to hide your cover, just go. I can neither confirm nor deny. Give me a wink, and I'll believe you.
uh, apparently, those people who you talk to, they need some glasses. But no, of course not. But if you ask me about Femke Kok, man, she's really good, you know, and I like her a lot more because, in my opinion, she's much more humble, much more normal. You know, in my opinion, no bullshit. Uh, she just skates hard and she comes over really friendly, in my opinion. Not too much showmanship. Um, and us Dutch, we're pretty boring, man. Overall, you know, we're like if you do your best is good, you don't have to show off. That's just how the Dutch are, you know, overall. So um, she speaks much more to me than Utah does, in my opinion. But I respect both girls a lot, which what they have achieved in Milan. It's amazing. Yeah, I cannot give enough accolades to that, you know.
Well, we're gonna end on that because I know you're trying to be humble. I still swear that my sources saw you, but let it go slide here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we love having him on because he is the MMA insider now, proud Dutchman who is celebrating the 10 gold medals of his country in the 2026 Winter Olympics. I give you it's Marcel Dorff. So, Marcel, once again, where can fans check you out at? Where is the podcast? The X, Instagram, probably a Rumble channel, maybe even Olympic channel. Like, where can fans check out your work?
So you can check out my work at Big Marcel 24 on Twitter and Instagram. Eurosport mixed martial arts section. I was thinking about making an OnlyFans, but A, I'm not an athlete, and B, I didn't want to show my dick, so I'm not going to do that. And that's pretty much it, man. Thanks for having me as always, Chris. Always fun talking to you.
Marcel Dorff, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always on a pleasure to have you on the show. We come back. We got a lot more going on here, only on this last call. Last call of the alcohol, only on the last call podcast.com.